in this world, everything has undergone many changes in the recent years. There are changes in the society, there are changes in the environment, there are changes in the economy. But there is one particular aspect where the changes are not happening. So as we are talking about that everything is changing around us, everything, like be it environment, be it economy, be it political scenario, everything is changing. One thing which has remained the same over a period of time is our school system. In the olden days, students were used to go to the school so that they can learn something from their teachers. But the times have changed. The knowledge is everywhere and it's free. I think the cartoon says it all. If you know how to Google, you will have access to everything. I believe, and I bet, every single person who is in this auditorium must have undergone this phase. Year after year, we have received the textbooks, we have sat in the classrooms, we have diligently listened to the lectures given by the teachers, we have done our homework, we have frenetically prepared for our exams, of course, on the last night, and felt mighty proud when we have received 85 to 90% on that test, because now we will be labeled as intellectuals. But have we ever questioned, why are we doing this? And probably that is where our school system has failed us. Our school system has taught us how to answer the questions in the test paper, but it has not taught us to question whatever that is there around us. And I think that is what the schools of today must do. Connect the real world with what happens in the classroom. 16 years ago, I made a choice of leaving my corporate career and to become a teacher. I had two choices: to make money or to make a difference. Obviously, I chose later, and I became a teacher. And believe me, there is not a single day in my life that I have regretted my decision. No teacher preparatory class or course can prepare you for what will happen in the classroom. Believe me, each child is unique. Each batch is unique. The syllabus may remain the same, but the methodology and the pedagogy will change. The lesson plans which you have prepared before meeting the students will have to be tossed out of the window. Believe me, this is exciting and at the same time challenging. One fine day, 11 years ago, my school principal called up and said that I have been deployed to teach commerce to grade 10F. I jumped with joy because entrepreneurship is one of the subjects which is very close to my heart. So when I reported to that particular department, I got to know two things. Point number one, I was not only their commerce teacher, I was not only the commerce teacher of this 28 innocent looking children, I was also their advisory, meaning I will be acting as their parent within the school system, second parent of course, and I will be responsible for everything that they do within the school system. Fact number two, two teachers had resigned recently from that particular department, and the one and only reason for their resignation was the batch 10F. When I went to the teacher staff rooms, the teacher staff rooms also had the horrific stories to tell. This particular batch managed to trip the electricity system, the entire electricity supply system of the entire school building except their own classroom. Not only that, they were also successful in hacking into the school computer system, right before parent-teacher meeting, so that all of them get the result cards, the report cards, stating that all of them have cleared with the flying grades. Oh my God. Should I panic? Should I curse the management for putting me into this situation and quit? Or should I look for a solution? Take it up as a challenge and look for a solution. Once again, I chose the second option. I chose to stay back and look for solution. The most amazing part about this entire experience was when other teachers found these children to be good for nothing, at risk, hooligans, I found these children to be brilliant. Just think about it. I have just narrated 2 incidents. They are amazingly brilliant. The only thing is, they had lots of energy which needs to be channelized into right direction. So that was mission impossible. Now what to do? I simply thought of that the altitude of a student's success depends purely on the attitude of the teacher. If a teacher believes in the potential of the students, magic can happen. Where other teachers saw the glass to be half empty, I saw the glass to be half full. And that perception made a big difference so far as my relationship with that particular batch was concerned. I promised them 2 things. Point number 1, I said I'm not going to be basing, I'm not going to simply believe, I'm just going to be basing my opinion of you on my interactions with you. I'm not looking at what you did in past. And point number 2, we have 10 months together and we have a choice what we do with this 10 months. After teaching a couple of classes, I simply got to know that the main reason of the disruption in the class was because this was the bunch of energetic youngsters and they were really bored sitting into the classroom listening to the boring lectures. They had the energy and we had to simply, this energy was not being utilized the way it should have been, and that is why the disruption. Now what to do? When I got to know this, I was happy because now I know that the problem is not the students. The problem is the system. Students are just the outcome of that particular problem. Once I was discussing in the class about the alternate interesting ways in which I can teach commerce to them, the topic came about, how about establishing our own businesses, and once we do it, all the topics of commerce can be covered in that. And believe me, the entire class came alive, including the backbenchers. They were excited at this particular prospect. And I started receiving suggestions, I started receiving ideas from the entire class, and I said, bingo. This was a major breakthrough because now I know what excites them. And when I know what excites them, I know that the same idea will engage them and later on empower them. One thing that I have learned was that if you want any solution to have the major maximum impact, let that particular solution come from the students. It is just like the egg concept. If the egg is broken from the outside force, the life ends. But if it is broken from the inside force, life begins. And that was my revelation, during that time. Once we decided on that, we said that we will be setting up a bazaar before Diwali, and we named it Big Business Bang. We drafted the proposal and very happily went to the school management. We came back totally disappointed and dejected because the school management thought that it was the stupidest of the idea. And we will be spending in fact, we will be wasting lots of time in setting up the bazaar. And this was not a good idea because this was the board year. Believe me, we managed to convince the school authorities later on, and we started working on setting up the bazaar. The students, the bored students who were really bored within the four walls of the classroom, were now out into the market, talking to the wholesalers, talking to the retailers, talking to the artisans, talking to the manufacturers. And they were really doing a good job out of it. So we set up a bazaar. We invited some of the senior students and parents as the customers for this bazaar. And we had a fantastic time teaching all the commerce, economics, and accounting principles into action. One thing happened during this bazaar experience, and that was, it changed the entire labeling game. The students who were considered to be good for nothing, at risk, failures, they were the ones who were doing a great job at bazaar. And the students who were considered as the toppers, the intellectuals, they were the ones who were struggling in bazaar. How did that happen? Simple thing. The bazaar was based on the skills, something that we have ignored in evaluating the child in our education system. I simply learned that every student learns, probably not on the same day and not in the same way. It's the job of the teacher to find out what works for your students. So we set up this particular bazaar, and one best outcome of that bazaar was, after the bazaar, I could see lots of behavioral changes in the students. They were more responsive. They were more responsible. They were more active into academics, the in-class academics. So 28 students, 3 days of bazaar, 5 rooms allocated to us by the school, and we earned the net profits of rupees 8,000. Not a very big amount, but this was the hard-earned money. Now what to do with this profit? I took this particular thing as another learning opportunity, and I just told them that you just list out the things that we can do with this 8,000 rupees. Coming from the affluent families, the list was obvious. Let's party. Let's buy expensive chocolates, designer coffee, pizza. In their list, I just added one more aspect from my end, and that was that we can support some child who can otherwise cannot go to the school. We can provide free education to that particular child. And the students were shocked. They could not imagine that the money that they can blow within 2 hours of partying can actually help somebody stay in the school system for 1 whole year. So unanimously it was decided that the money will be utilized for providing free education to the children who otherwise cannot go to the school. And I believe the seeds of philanthropy, corporate social responsibility, business ethics were sown on that day. These children graduated and went to 11th standard, and I thought, let's leave it at that. This was just one-time classroom project. So in 11th standard, we didn't do any project. We didn't continue with the big business bang. But when these children were in 12th standard, I received the request from the parents saying that, just imagine this is a 12th standard board year, and I'm receiving the request from the parents that please continue with that bazaar project because it has very positive impact on students. So from that year onwards, we named it Galaxy Bazaar. The name Galaxy Bazaar because this was the platform, the Galaxy Bazaar, this particular bazaar was giving the platform for the stars to shine. From that day onwards, Galaxy Bazaar had become the laboratory for the commerce students, wherein they can do whatever that they want to do in order to run that particular business. Now, these are some of the pictures, from BAZAAR. This is like basically our BAZAAR is divided into a couple of parts. We have, the actual BAZAAR. Then, of course, there is entertainment, which otherwise is not there in the city. We try to bring it in. There are games, which once again we try to bring it in, which are not in the city. But we continued with the objective that whatever profits that we earn out of this BAZAAR are donated to provide the free education to the underprivileged children in the community. And as you can see that, this is the entire journey, just a glimpse of entire journey of Galaxy Bazaar. In the year 2015, last year, we completed 10 years of doing Galaxy Bazaar. And I'm so proud to announce that over a period of 10 years, we managed to earn 62 lakhs of rupees. Which is about $100,000. When you are doing something good, you will receive appreciation from people, and we also received appreciation from Forbes, UNESCO, Share America, which is the official site of US Educational Department. Not only that, there are a couple of universities in India and abroad who have taken up Galaxy Bazaar as a case study to be teaching social entrepreneurship in their MBA programs. Thank you. Now, why this project is so special? This particular project is special because it benefits not only the participating students, but its benefits percolate to the next level. The participating students do get to know the tricks of the trade. They learn how business can be done. We train them to become the job creators instead of job seekers. But most importantly, it bridges the gap. It bridges the gap, the social gap, the economical gap, and most importantly, the opportunity gap between the students belonging to different stratas of the community. One teacher and her students, if they can earn 62 lakhs of rupees, around $100,000, by working for 10 years, just imagine what if even 100 schools or colleges adopt this model, start training their students, and start helping the students within their own community. It will be huge. And I'm 100% sure that if we do something like this, just by minding our own business, we can change the world, 2 students at a time. Thank you very much.